Good evening to all the students. So let us discuss the last topic of our syllabus, and this is the last topic of the exceptions, and that is how we are going to specify the exceptions. Right. Can anybody tell me what do you understand by this term specifying exceptions? So we know what these exceptions are, but can anybody tell me what do you mean by specifying exceptions?
Identifying them.
Could you please be louder?
Identifying them.
What is that one?
Identifying exceptions. So
Right. We are going to tell what type of exceptions we are throwing. That is nothing but the specifying of exceptions, right? So for specifying the exceptions, we need to use the concept of functions. We know how to call a function within the try block. We have seen some examples in the previous classes also. So when you try to call a function in the try block and you are making the function to catch the exceptions or to throw the exceptions, it's not the catching of exceptions, we are making the functions to throw the exceptions, and when you throw the exception, that is going to be caught in the any of the catch blocks, right? We have multiple try catch blocks. You are very well aware of it, right?
Yes, sir.
So here we are going to specify what type of exception the function is going to throw. That is a simple concept where we will make use of the function definition and where we will make use of the same keywords, try, catch, throw, everything is similar, right? But one thing, simple important points you should remember, that you are going to specify that in this particular program I am going to catch these type of exceptions only. That means I am going to catch only the integer type of exceptions, or I am going to catch the double type of exceptions. Like that you are going to specify some specific type of exceptions, and your function is going to handle those type of exceptions only, right? So let us see. So I told that in C++ one can specify the exceptions through the concept of functions, right? And what actually this specifying exceptions means, as I told, that the programmer can specify which type of exception he or she wants to throw, right? If the programmer wants to throw integer and double type of exceptions, as he can specify it in the function, right? And if the programmer wants to throw only integer type of exceptions, he can specify it in the functions. Like that any number of exceptions or any type of exceptions that the user or the programmer wants to throw, he can simply specify it in the function definition, right? So we'll see some of the examples here, and you will get a clear idea on what these specifying exceptions is. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we all know everything is similar, right? We know this IO stream, we know this std, and what is this one called as? What is this I am doing here at this point? What is this block called? Please tell me, what is that block?
throw blocks.
It's not a throw block, we call it as a function definition. What is the name of this one? What is test here? What is test? It is the name of the function. Super, right? And what is this void?
Return type, sir.
Is the return type of the function. What is this int x? Sorry. Okay, what is this int x here? That means this arguments, this test function is going to accept one argument, which is a integer value, right? And after this, forget about this particular part, I will tell you what this particular part is. And after this we are specifying a block of statements. In this block of statements we call this as a definition of the function. Am I right or not? So when we have this header part and when we have this body of the function, we call that particular header plus body as the function definition. So here in the function body, what we have done is I am using a if clause where I am checking the value of this parameter x with 0. If it is equal, then I am using a keyword called throw and I am throwing a value called 10. Right. Similarly, else if x, I compare this x value with -1, and if it becomes true, and if this condition becomes true, then it is going to throw one particular value which is called as 15.34. Right. That means I just want to compare the value of x with 0 and -1. If x is equal to 0, then I am throwing an integer value. That means I am throwing a value which is equal to which can catch the integer exceptions. Right. Similarly, if x is equal to -1, then I am going to throw a double value. Right. So it is going to be caught by a catch block which is having the double as the parameter. Right. So up to this, it is very much clear that it is simply a function definition. So we have a function name, we have the return type of the function, we have the parameter, and within that block I have written my own code. Right. But what we are new to this function is this function is followed by a throw keyword. This is a throw keyword which you are going to use in handling the exceptions. That is almost similar to that of a try catch block. Right. So we after this function header we have a throw keyword, and after this throw we have a list of data types that are specified inside this throw. Right. So one is the integer and the second one is the double. So when the compiler looks at this particular definition or the header of this function, it will come to know that this particular function is going to handle two type of exceptions. One is the integer exception and the second one is the double exception. Right. Other than this, it cannot handle any type of exceptions. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this
Yes, sir.
throw keyword is just to inform the compiler that this particular function, test function, is going to handle the integer and double exceptions. Double is nothing but float. Right. Is it clear up to this point? Right. So after this we have the main function, and within the try block I have, what is this statement called?
Function call, sir.
Super. Right. It is a function call. So I am calling the function test with a value of 0. So this value is passed and it is stored inside this x. So whenever the compiler comes across this function call, the control will jump from this point to the function definition, and while jumping it will take the value of 0 with it, and that value of 0 is stored inside this x. Right. So once you enter into this block, so x is compared with 0. What is the value of x? I am having it right now.
0, sir.
0. Right. So if 0 is equal to 0, so this condition is true. Therefore the if block corresponding to x is equal to 0 is executed. So here we have throw of 10. So what is that it is throwing here? It is going to throw a value of 10 which is an integer. So again the control will return from this statement to the corresponding catch block. So this is what it is going to execute. Right. So int a, therefore what is the value thrown here? It is 10. Where it is going to be stored?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right here it is going to store, and it is going to execute this catch block where it has only one cout statement with integer caught and the value is going to be displayed. So what is the output here?
Integer caught is equals to 10, sir.
No, is equal to is not there. Okay, we can put it like that. Okay, integer caught with 10. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So after executing this catch block, one point you have to remember here. Right. I just want to ask you one question, that is whether this test -1 is going to be executed or not.
No, sir.
Right. So any other answers? Is it going to be executed, or it is just going to exit from the main function? Anybody?
Just exit from main function, sir.
Super, right? It is going to exit from the main function. Very good. Super answer. That somebody will think that this test of -1, why? Because it is a function call, right? Once you execute this entire function, the control is going to return back to this function, and then again it is going to make a function call like this. But this is not the actual function call that is happening here. So once this test function call is called with a value of 0, it is going to execute this condition, and this throw is executed with a value of 10. So once 10 is thrown, you can assume that I told you one particular term in the previous class. What is that term? This try catch block works on a termination model.
Yes, sir.
Right, termination model means once the exception is thrown, that's it.
It cannot be
returned
go
back,
back.
right? So once you throw this exception, it is going to execute the corresponding catch block, which is this integer, which is going to handle this integer exception, and it will just execute that particular catch block, and it is going to exit from that particular program. So never ever assume that this test -1 is going to be executed, and after this so throw 15.4 will be executed, and this does not happen, right? Once you throw, that is terminated. That's it. That is the important point you should remember here, right? So if you exchange these two statements, for example, first I wrote the test of -1 and then I take test of 0. So what is that? It is going to be executed.
A double caught, sir.
Set. Super, right? Double caught will be executed, and the value 15.34 will be printed, right? But it is not going to execute, or it is not going to catch the integer exception, right? So this is the important point you should remember. And what is that I want to I'm trying to tell you is, this is how you are going to specify the exceptions. You are trying to tell the compiler that this particular function, test function, is going to catch two type of exceptions only, that is the integer exception, and another one is the double exception, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
So if it is clear, we will just move to the other important, same in the specifying exceptions only. What happens if I don't specify anything inside this throw, right? So let us see. I will give this example by after looking at one more example, right? So the same program I have taken, but I have added more number of exceptions here. That means this function test is going to handle more number of exceptions. That means you can see here, it is going to throw integer, double, char, and another runtime error, right? So these are the 4 types of exceptions the test function is going to handle, right? We know what this integer is. That means it is going to handle the integer type of exceptions. We know what this double is. That means it is going to handle the double. Similarly, char. So one important thing why I have given this example is another one called as the runtime error. So what is this runtime error means? It is a class, right? Listen carefully. So the runtime error is a class which is going to handle the runtime exceptions, right? It is going to handle exclusively the runtime exceptions. What is this runtime error we have here?
It's a class, sir.
Right, so it is a class which is going to throw the objects as exceptions, and it is going to handle only the runtime errors. So in order to specify the exclusively the runtime errors, we are going to use this runtime error, right? So once you go to this main function, and in the try block you have just called the test function. You can see here that I am not giving any input parameters to the test. I'm just calling the test function, so it is going to execute. It is the control is going to transfer from this main function to the test definition. Here it will execute this statement, throw of runtime error, and this is the message I want to print. What is happening here, right? So what happens here is whenever the compiler comes across this statement runtime error, right, so it will go and execute the corresponding catch block. So you can observe here that in the main block, after this try, I have written so many catch blocks. This is the catch block to handle the integer exception, this is to handle the double, and this is to handle the character, and this is to handle the runtime error exception. So this particular message is going to be transferred here, and where I am storing it here, it is inside the R, right? What is this R here? Can anybody tell me?
Object, sir.
Runtime error, sir.
No, super, that is an object. As I told that this runtime error is a class, so class followed by any variable name, class C. What is this C called? It is nothing but an object of type class. So R is an object of class runtime error. So whatever message you are throwing from this test function, that is what is happening here, it is going to be stored inside this R, right? It is an object, it is going to hold the message what is happening here. And when we come across this catch block cout runtime error caught, and it is going to print the message. We cannot directly print the message like this, right, by making use of R, as if we are doing in CH, D and A. So these are the direct data types which can hold the values of integer, or it can hold the value of double. Similarly, CH can hold the value of the character directly. So when you make use of these variables directly in the cout, the value is going to be printed. But here R is not a variable which can hold this message. It is an object of the class. So in order to print this message, what is that you have to do? We know that objects, that means this classes, whenever I say it is a class, what does it consist of? What does a class consist of?
Data members and data functions.
Super.
Data members
It
and member
consists of the
functions.
data members and the member functions. So this runtime error class is having a member function called as what. You can see here, this is a function, right? So what is a member function which is present inside this runtime error? So how can I access this what function by making use of this object? It is by using this member access operator, which is called as dot. So by using the object dot what function, which is a member function of runtime error class, I am just printing this the message which is passed from this throw block, right? Throw statement. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you can see the output that it is going to print the
Yes,
output
sir.
as runtime error caught, and after this, by this R dot what, it is going to print the message which is thrown by this throw statement. So what is happening here will be printed, right? In this example, I just want to concentrate on this runtime error. So you should know that there is a class called as runtime error which is capable of holding various types, or which is capable of dealing with the objects that deal only with the runtime errors, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So another thing, another example I just want to give you is what happens if the user does not specify any exceptions, right? So the thing is that I just want to make use of this throw, but I'm not going to specify what type of exception it is going to throw, whether it is going to throw the integer, double, character, or something else. I'm not going to specify it. So what happens if the user tries to write such type of programs, right? So this is the example program I have written. So you can see here that I'm using the same test function with throw keyword, but the throw is not specifying any type of exception, right? So let us go back to the main function. Main, within the try, I have called the test function, so the control will be jumping back to this one, and you can see here that the test function is not throwing or it is not specifying any exceptions. But if you go to the body of the test function, you can observe that it is throwing an integer value. 10 is the value that is thrown, right? So here is a conflict you have. Here is a conflict. You are specifying that test is not going to throw anything, but you are throwing an integer exception. So this is a conflict which will terminate the program. You are not going to get any output. You are not going to get any output. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you may think that since this function has thrown an integer value, the corresponding catch block for the integer exception is going to execute and it is going to print integer quart and 10 value will be printed. But this is not going to happen. Why? Because it is very much clear that you specified the test function with a throw block and it is not going to and it is not having any parameters. Right? If they are not having any parameters, that means it is not throwing any, you are not specifying any exceptions. But here you are throwing it. So here is a conflict you have. Because of this conflict, you will get the termination point here. So the program will be terminated at this point. Is it clear? So this is the output you are getting. Terminate called after throwing an instance of int. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. And the last example on specifying these exceptions. Right. So in the previous example, we have specified the throw keyword and I am not giving any exceptions in this parenthesis. So this is a part of specifying exceptions, but you are not giving any parameters. That is the reason why, but you are trying to throw an integer value. So here you will get a error where you will, the termination will be happen, right? But here you can observe here that you are writing a simple test program. Are you making use of any throw here?
Yes, sir.
No, right? So this does not come under any specifying the exceptions. We are not specifying any exceptions through the function, right? So you tell me whether it will execute or not.
It will execute, sir.
It will execute. Why? Because there is no conflict here. You have written a function and within the try block you call that function. So the control will jump to the function definition and it is going to throw this 10 value. So the corresponding catch block will be executed and integer quart 10 will be printed. So once this is printed, it will come out of the catch block, try catch block. So here you are not specifying any exception, therefore there will not be any errors or there will not be any terminations, right? This will perfectly execute, right? When you are going to get errors, that means whenever you are specifying the exceptions without any parameters, but you are trying to throw some exceptions. So here we come, here there is a conflict between the throw and not throwing, therefore you will get errors at that particular point, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about the specifying exceptions. So this is end of this topic. Thank you one and all.
Thanking you, sir.